Hello everyone, my name is Nguyen. Today I will talk to you about Edmund Husserl and phenomenology. There are five main parts in my talk. First, I will talk a little bit about Husserl, who he is. Then I will discuss phenomenology together with Husserl's thought processes related to phenomenology. Next, I will move to the beginning of Husserl's writings and his contributions to the area of phenomenology. And the final part is his most famous works and the application of Husserl's contributions in the 20th and 21st centuries. First of all, Edmund Husserl is the German philosopher. He was born in 1859 and died in 1938. He is the father of the philosophical movement known as phenomenology, and he is one of the most influential philosophers of the 20th century. Phenomenology is commonly understood as either the philosophy or a movement in the history of philosophy. As a disciplinary field of philosophy, phenomenology is the study of experiences or consciousness, or the conscious experience of the first person, who experiences such experiences and interprets them through their own perspectives. The discipline of phenomenology is studied in relation to the other fields of philosophy, such as ontology, epistemology, logic, and ethics. Let's move on Husserl's thought process. Husserl got attracted to the philosophy thanks to Franz Brentano, who advocated a redefinition of psychology as a study of mental ideas as a study of mental phenomena to accommodate the natural scientists. Based on Brentano's ideas on the notion of intentional inexistence, Husserl developed a concept of intentionality, known as the structure of some forms of experiences such as perception, thought, emotions, social activities, which is studied in phenomenology. Intentionality is also the directness of experience toward things in the world, the property of consciousness that it is consciousness of or about something. Phenomenology was launched in Husserl's book Logical Investigations in 1900 and 1901. For Husserl, phenomenology is an integration of psychology and logic. In terms of psychology, phenomenology describes and analyzes types of subjective mental activity or experience, or the acts of consciousness. In terms of logic, phenomenology develops a theory and meaning, describing and analyzing objective contents of consciousness shared by different acts of consciousness. Next, I will talk about the beginning of Husserl's writings related to phenomenology. Husserl showed his great interest in identifying the epistemological problem of the way people obtain objective knowledge. His writings from the beginning of his career were different from those of the other philosophers in the sense that they discovered the connection between the attainment of objective knowledge and subjective sources. His initial studies were epistemologically oriented, with the emphasis on the assessment of the intentional character of mental states in the attainment of knowledge. But his focus on intentionality contained some limitations from the theoretical perspective, so he had to ameliorate his approach and include areas such as temporality, intersubjectivity, and culture from within a transcendental phenomenological perspective in his analyses. In his studies later on, Husserl focused on the role of subjectivity and perception in establishing how objects and meanings are given in intuitive acts of fulfillment. Next, I will discuss Husserl's contributions to phenomenology. As a founder of phenomenology and one of the most influential philosophers in the last century, Husserl has made great contributions to the area of phenomenology and other disciplines. His development of pure phenomenology, known as transcendental phenomenology, disseminated and helped orient a lot of school students. At the end of his life, Husserl shifted phenomenology toward exploring the life world, known as the total assemblage of the entire world as we know it, including the intersubjective and social spheres, leading to the advent of existential phenomenology developed by late thinkers such as Martin Heidegger, Maurice Merleau-Ponty, and Jean-Paul Sartre. It is also the phenomenology emphasis on consciousness and the life world that has a substantial effect on an entire school of psychological thought, known as phenomenological psychology. Phenomenological psychology, based on the theoretical and methodological foundation in phenomenological philosophy, seeks to explore people's experiences of various psychological phenomena. So, a qualitative research method is used to analyze such phenomena together with the underlying psychological meaning. So, in terms of the phenomenological qualitative approach, a kind of phenomenological research can ask the questions of like, what is your experiences of the drug addiction, or what is your experiences of depression? Okay, so now I will move to Husserl's most famous works related to phenomenology. Husserl has some major phenomenological works throughout his life. Among these, I will talk about the three most famous works related to phenomenology. The first one is Logical Investigation, published in the 1900 and 1901. Ideas, General Introduction to Pure Phenomenology in 1913, and The Crisis of European Sciences and Transcendental Phenomenology in 1936. I think because of the time limitations, so I'm not going to talk about it in details. And the final part is the application of Husserl's contributions in the modern world. I think one of the most important implications of Husserl's contribution in the 20th and 21st centuries is the phenomenology and phenomenological psychology and phenomenological methodology. It is also labeled as the transcendental or epistemological reduction. In the phenomenological method, how people experience such experiences are focused. Researchers' certain beliefs, biases, and assumptions should be put aside to be able to truly uncover its essence and fully understand the deep structures that drive the conscious thinking, feeling, and behavior of studied participants. So I presented Husserl and phenomenology. Thank you so much for your time. Bye bye.